Good morning, folks. You alright? I'm just basically doing a little drive around. I just went to see my friend, and the chap who's got the squareback Gleaner that we had working with my three back in the summer. Just went to see him, and my combine shed wasn't far away, so I thought I'd come and pay a visit. So me and Luke, shouldn't have really said his name, but yeah, that's his name. I don't really like to advertise who he is because he is a bit secretive, so I don't put much about him. But anyway, yeah, me and him owned this Gleaner. We shared it, but now he's got his own combine. He agreed. I mean, I wasn't happy either way, but I've taken on full ownership of that now, so it's not a shared combine. So I actually outright own all three of these now, and I'm really happy with them. They are just great. You know, there ain't no better combines that I could add to. There ain't nothing better. Nothing could improve this collection. This one here, I'll just turn the light on. That's the one I've had for years. That's my 1964. You can't really see it very well because of the light shining through. That's my 1964 A Super. I bought this machine in 2002, and it was going to go for scrap if I didn't buy it. A few people had phoned the bloke up and asked for the engine off of it, and I come along and said I want the whole thing to put it back to work. So of course I got it. 400 quid, I think 450 quid. I bought this one, and a spares machine came with it. And I set about putting it to work. I didn't know anything about what I was doing or really anything at all, and I learned and just kept on pushing on. Eventually got it working. A very good combine, very good working machine. It's obviously old, you know, you can see by looking at it, it's a very old combine. You know, it does look tatty a little bit, but it's a very good combine. I've done all the mechanical work to it. This one may be getting a paint job at some point, maybe one day. Not right now, it won't be getting it anyway, but you know, it still does a good job, a lovely job. I think they possibly could just do slight improvements on the hydraulics, and this one's going to get a full service this year, as is the one at the back there. This is my Model C that I've just taken on full ownership. Actually, we'll concentrate on this one. So basically this one's got an 8.5 foot cut, 3 straw, because Model A, you know, the smaller of the Alice combines, but like I say, I've had it for many years. Lovely combine, never ever caused me any problems really at all. You know, never been a problem. Really good machine. Then you got Model C, so 4 straw walkers, 10 foot header, hydraulic steering. You know, the Model A just has mechanical steering. I know, obviously, you probably know all this already, but just doing a bit of an update, just as I'm here. So the Model C, they're all nicely tucked away in the dry as well, which is fantastic. So this is one that I got this combine when it was the Alice Chalmers, year of Alice Chalmers at Dorset Steam Fair, and I went to go and have a look, and I was stood in the Alice Chalmers Owners Club tent, and a chap come in and goes, I've got three Gleaners. I've got a Super C, I've got an EA with a petrol power fin, and I've got a C. And I said, you got a C? I said, excellent, can I come and look at it? And it happened, he was right down in Devon. So I went down and looked here. At the time I had a C that needed full work on it. But anyway, I went and looked at this one. This one was slightly better than the one I already had. But the one I already had eventually caught fire. But I sort of resigned myself that I was just going to keep the Model A's that I had at the time, which are the two that are here that I had at the time. But then my friend Luke contacted me. He'd met me a couple of times before. He knew I had these Gleaner combines, and he goes, can you find me a Super C? And I said, well, I know there's a Super C, but I know there's a C as well. And after a bit of discussion, he decided that we're going to go for the C, that this one here that needed work. Shed for a long time, didn't have a radiator on it, it didn't have a lot of stuff on it, and it needed a lot of work. But it arrived, we decided So this time 2 years ago we went, I think in fact it was just over 2 years ago, we went down with a tent. It was October time, it's very cold down there. Went at tent state, we spent 2 full days, camped overnight, did all the necessary stuff to get it ready to put on a lorry. We got it, got the header off of it, took the header back with us on a trailer, started refurbishing the header. We booked a chap into, obviously it was all drive ready, so it was all ready to go, you know, drivable and everything. We got the engine running, obviously we put the radiator on, so we were happy that it could move and run for a while, long enough to get it loaded up. So we hired a local chap called Mark Buckley, Mark Buckley from Bicester, who does all my most of my haulage. Well, the vast majority of my haulage. I very rarely get anybody else because he's so much cheaper and more reliable for these smaller combines. You know, he can manage with these ones nicely with his rigid body, with his rigid body lorry, and yeah. He went and loaded it. We didn't have to go down there. We didn't have to go back down to Devon. So we bought it from people called Stoyle. They've still got a Super C and an EA petrol paraffin, which I don't think they're that keen on selling those two really. I think they might, you know, they think about it. But fortunately for us, this is the one that they were happy to sell. They'd been using it as a parts machine. It'd been sat in the shed 30 years or so, maybe not quite that long, but it'd been a long time, since the 90s at least. And when we got it back, we started going through it and everything, and we're very happy. I'm very happy with this combine. Although it doesn't, you know, looking at it, the paintwork's not immaculate. I'll tell you what, it's not done a lot of work. It's a really nice combine. It's got hydraulics, assist steering. Out of all the Gleaners, it's the nicest one to use and drive. It's got the better valve system on it. It's very cold today, really cold. But yeah, such a fantastic combine. It's, you know, really pleased with it. You know, I managed to find a load of wooden slats to which were original. You know, we did. On my Model A down there, you know, that had a rotten reel when it came, the one in front there, but that's all got like brand new wood on it. But this wood on this C is all salvaged. I took it off another machine. I had a spare a spare header kicking about. I took all the slats off it. Worm killer on it, like woodworm killer all over it, and then put some white wood stain paint on it to just to keep it and hold it, because obviously when we come back from Devon, the reel had collapsed, the wood had rotted away previously, and just the vibrations of dragging it home all the way from Devon, you know, the 3.5 hour journey that it was. The reel had collapsed when we got home, and so we had to rebuild that. I mean, we've done so much work to it, as with all these 3 machines. There's been a lot of work done to them. Yeah, so there was something else I was going to mention, but basically, you know, this one is brilliant. You know, we rebuilt the bottom end of the engine, as a lot of you know. We had the shoe out of it. You know, this combine is squeaky clean. It's beautiful. It really is. I've got to rebend the steps on this one to get it back. But what I'm going to do is, with all of these, as when the weather starts to warm up, we can get them all out one by one. This one doesn't really need a service, just check over. You know, there's nothing drastic that really needs doing to any of them, to be honest. I mean, they're all pretty good. And then, lastly but not least, this one that I bought as a working combine. And basically what I did with this one when I got it was I bought it as a fully working machine. It had a lot of on-farm modifications on it and I went through and put it all back to as original. You know, it had like corn dividers made out of traffic cones and that kind of stuff, which was all good for the farm and would have been fine. You know, there was nothing wrong with it, but I wanted it to be brought back to the original type. I took all the ropey old guards off it, put proper guard as it would have had from new. This one was previous to the white. You know, from 1961, 62, they had white wheels and white reel. and a white radiator. And this one was one of the last ones. To have full red wheels. It's one of the first ones to have the uprated P6288. So both my Model A's got the P6288. Just previous to this, they would have had the naturally aspirated, which would be good, but they're just not as good as this one. It's a really good engine, this one. So there, I had a problem with the transmission collapsed on this one, as a lot of you have seen. It has got a leak, unfortunately, which is annoying. That's one thing Model A's going to have to sort the leak on transmission somewhere, which I've got to try. Hopefully I don't have to get the transmission out. If I can fix it without doing it, I'll do it this year. If not, it'll have to wait. Like, as one thing I was going to say with this Model C, out of all three of these combines, the Model C, there was a lot of stuff that the wear and tear on the working mechanisms, like the sprockets and stuff like that, it doesn't need it. It's really not done too much work for a machine of its age. In here, these sprockets that drive the Radl are classics for wearing out. And we'll actually take the shaft out and put the sprockets on opposite ends, so that the hook that's been worn into it is on the other way around. With the C, we didn't have to do it. I've done that to both of these, to both my Model A's. So the transmission had to come out of this. I had to put a new differential in it. Managed to find a humpback combine that had never been used on the road. Had been on the same fan from new, but they'd left it outside. But this front axle isn't original to this combine. As you can see, it's slightly rusty, but this doesn't necessarily bother me, because it's a brilliant diff. So I put basically the original. I could hear there was something wrong with it, and it collapsed. So it just smashed itself to pieces. One day we were cutting barley, and yeah, that was the end of that. It finished it. So I towed it, and my mate let me keep it in his shed. And when I had the front off, because to get the axle out of these, you had to take the header off, you had to take the throat off. Gave me access to a lot of parts. This combine's done serious work. You know, it's done a lot of work. It's done, this year completed its 63rd harvest, which was really impressive. This got an 8.5 foot cut, which is good, because that's, with that, all these gleaners, I prefer to try and have, when I first got them, I wanted to have like a 12 foot cut on it, because I thought that'd be better. But actually, in time, I realised that actually having an 8.5 foot cut is a massive advantage, because, well, it just is. You can get in over little bridges and stuff like that. You can get in places where big combines can't get. Yeah, so while I had access into the centre of the combine, I had a lot of stuff redone, remade. You know, there's a little shelf in here that was all worn out. It was quite bad. It was almost cut in half. And I sent it away expecting them to fabricate. They fabricated me a whole new one. And it has even got a brand new beater. I don't know if you'll be able to... There you go, you see that? That's an actual brand new beater, that is. All that panel work on that beater is actually brand new. So, and I'll tell you what, because obviously the amount of work this had done, the edges had worn away on the original one. And it kicked. Obviously that kicks the crop as it leaves the drum. And with the edges worn away, it's not as effective. I'll tell you what, I noticed a massive improvement in this combine when that new beater was put in. So if you ever want to improve the performance of your beater, I do recommend having that, getting the threshing mechanism properly put back, you know, drum as good as possible, concave, like the concave rub bars as good as possible. And yeah, that secondary beater, it's like a crop flow beater. I can't remember the exact terminology of that one, but yes, so that's what I would like to say as well is I'm available in the summer for a small bit of contracting. Obviously, you know, the bigger concerns aren't going to be interested, and I'm not really interested in doing a lot of acres, but basically slap bang in between Kidlington. So if you drew a triangle, Kidlington, Chipping Norton, Banbury, if you drew a triangle in that area, sort of in the middle there, that's where these combines are. I can deviate outside there, but but I'm looking to. I've got these 3 combines, so there's me to cut. The Good Day Model A's, you know, between them, you know, they're about 10 acre a day combine. The Model C a little bit bigger. I've got a straw skirt coming. We'll see, because we had a bit of a wind and it's blowing the straw away. But I've actually had a proper one made that is actually identical to what would have been on the original as an extra option, which I have actually got on the Model A, which I'll show you briefly, just so you know what I mean, because we hit it, you know, that Model C did come with a rear skirt on it, but it was all bedraggled and that, but this is it. So this is an exact copy of what would have been on the original, because the bloke who made it has got a friend who's still got one with the original on it, so it's got a metal weight in the bottom and wooden slats to hold it on. Yeah, lovely old combine, this one too, you know. Yeah, nothing wrong with this at all. Beautiful engine on it and everything. You know, I've been right through this one over the years. I mean, this one's been with me over half my life now. Yeah, rescued her from scrap. I'm so pleased with it. You know, I would say this one is a potential for getting straightened and painted maybe, but I understand the work that needs to be put in, and that is the paint ain't going to improve the performance of the combine. So anyway, like I was always saying, if you are a farmer and you've got a little small acreage, you know, whatever, that's going to be in the summer, I do good prices. You know, I'm not a contractor like who's bashing out to get money. I want to keep these combines working. I will ask a little bit. It won't be anywhere near the standard rate for contracting, as long as I'm covering the cost of my fuel and I'm making a little bit of money to cover the costs, you know, that for keeping the combines, and that, you know, hopefully be able to pay for themselves. But it's not just that. I want to keep the combines working. So I'm prepared. I'm not interested in doing rape or beans or linseed really at all, or grass seed. Just oats, barley and wheat. And between them, I reckon, like, you know, 60 acres, about my max. But if you're interested, message me and we'll talk, and you know, try and get the ball rolling early on. And like I say, I've got 3 combines here, and each one of them's good. I wouldn't expect any one of them to let me down in harvest. And yeah, so, and I'm sure you'll enjoy seeing an old combine chugging away in your field, you know. Yeah, like I say, if you're interested, come and give us a chat, you know, even if you just want to talk, you know, you're just interested to know more, I'm sure I'm here. So message me on my video and I'll get in touch with you and we can meet up and have a chat and talk, you know. And if you don't want me to do it, that's fine, we can still have a chat. Okay, catch you later, bye.